Hey guys, welcome back to the AskMario show. This is episode 31, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about nutrient timing. So the question for today came from Martin, and Martin is wondering, hey Mario, what are your thoughts on timing nutrition throughout the day, and how important is it to get that protein after workout? So if you were like me, who started lifting a few years ago, the most common piece of advice people would give you is like, you need to eat that protein immediately after workout, right? As soon as you leave the dumbbell on the floor, you instantly have to run to your locker room or bring a shake with you to have that shake, to have the protein, so you don't go catabolic after workout, because there's this anabolic window of opportunity where you can actually use that protein better than sometime the other time and rest of the day, right? Well, here's the basic science in this, and I want to first give a shout out to Brad Schoenfeld and Alan Aragon, who are guys who actually did research on nutrient timing and on the post-workout anabolic window of opportunity, because these are key elements that were kind of part of bro science for such a long time, and I want to really thank these guys for making it happen for us with actual real evidence what really matters. So here are the few points from their research, and in general what you can use right now, and you to be sure that this is evidence-based. So this is not just like bro science, not me guessing or something like that. So what the science is really conclusive on is that the post-workout window is not as short as it used to be, right? Like as people thought it used to be. Like people thought it was like, if you don't get your protein within the first 5 minutes after you leave, after the last set, you missed it, right? Well, it's more than that. It's up to an hour, up to like 3-4 hours if you haven't done your workout in a fasted state. So the general recommendation I would have for you here is, don't like run to your fucking locker room and break your leg on the way running there. You can have your protein shake within an hour, and you'll be perfectly using that anabolic window of opportunity to the maximum effect that you can. And besides that, if you're training in a fasted state, for you guys that are practicing intermittent fasting or just having a workout first thing in the morning, for you it would be a little bit more, there would be a little bit more sense of urgency to get that protein as soon as possible. And I would recommend then just as soon as you finish your workout, as soon as you can do that protein shake, definitely go for it. And just for you to take the maximum advantage out of it. But if you had a meal or 2 meals before your training, then there's definitely no need to rush, and there's definitely no need to go out of your way to chug it out, protein down, because it's definitely not going to make that much of a difference. In general, as far as nutrient timing, I mean, there's one rule, and that is spread out your protein throughout the day, right? In portions, you could look at a portion maybe 0.5 times your kilos per portion. So if you're 80 kilos, that would be about 40 grams per meal of protein spread out, I guess, 4 to 5 meals, between 3 and 5 or 3 and 6 meals. It's definitely not a big difference, especially between like 4 or 5 and 4 or 6. There's not as much difference as between 2 or 3, which is like a huge difference. So these are all guidelines. I mean, if you're eating twice a day, and a protein shake, that will be fine. You're gonna be using like 85% of the maximum benefits you could be. But if you're the kind of person that really wants to get the maximum out of it, I would just recommend, increase that 3 times to 4 times, and you're completely done, right? You don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to have your casein protein like we used to do before in bodybuilding, because it was very common that you have to spread your protein like 10 small portions throughout the day, eat your BCAAs all the time and all of that stuff, which is definitely not true. And the evidence now supports that basic fact that if you spread it out evenly 4 to 5 times a day, you're good to go. As far as other nutrient timing, fats, there's basically no timing involved there. As far as carbs, there was some kind of evidence that was pointing out a little bit that the carbs after workout help, but honestly, the latest evidence that I saw from Brad Schoenfeld's, Alan Aragon's review paper, they pretty much nailed that as well, and it said it doesn't really matter to get those carbs right after the workout as much as it matters to get that protein. So as far as your carbs, just make sure that you get your daily amount, especially if you're training heavily throughout the day. I mean, if your workout is like a 2 or 3 hour workout, and then definitely make sure to get some carbs afterwards. Or for example, if you're having 2 workouts in a day, then that kind of plays a role there to kind of replenish your reserves between these 2 workouts. But as long as you're doing like the standard programs that fall between like an hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours, like a regular program, and spread out your carbs throughout the day in just regular meals, there's no really need to get, I don't know, like that glucose powder with your protein shake after workout, or if you get your banana with your protein shake. You will do that if you just can do that, if it's sustainable for you, but it's not as important as actually getting that total daily amount. As we said before, just handling your macros and your calories brings pretty much 80% of the results. And what I'm talking about here is that a bit I guess 5-10% effectiveness increase when you do take care of this nutrient timing aspect. And that would be all for this question from Martin. I want to thank Martin for giving a really cool question. I'm sure most of you guys watching this video have wondered about this in the past. So there you have it. That's what you need to do. If you have a question for the Ask Mario show, make sure to leave it below in the comments with the hashtag AskMario. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to also click subscribe on the YouTube channel to support the channel. And if you're watching on Facebook, definitely click like below and share with your friends. If you have friends who are into fitness and health, I mean, they will definitely benefit from this piece of advice here. And thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.